Well, hello again. I'm John, and I'm returning to continue with our Templates for Change series on our human heritage. And today we have surely what must be one of the most extraordinary people and extraordinary stories and inspirations of our modern era. Nelson Mandela, the story of his imprisonment and time on Robben Island, his thoughts and inspirations to the people of South Africa and the world, encompassed, you might say, in the idea of a long walk to freedom. Now, this is part of our Human Heritage series, which is about those special humans who, by their lives and their wisdom, inspire and encourage us today. And Nelson Mandela is truly one of those special people. As it was said here, he's a man respected, admired, and loved by peoples across the world as a role model of a moral leader. His willingness to walk the road of sacrifice distinguishes him as one of the greatest symbols of resilience, tolerance, non-violence, and moral integrity of our age. And how true that is. And these are pictures from Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela spent many years in his own, as they say, long walk to freedom. Now, this is a picture of Robben Island in the mists from Table Mountain, which Nelson Mandela would have seen from Robben Island, of course. He spent 27 years in prison from the age of 44 to 71, and 18 of these were on Robben Island before his final release in 1990. If there are dreams about a beautiful South Africa, there are also roads that lead to their goal. Two of these roads could be named goodness and forgiveness. Now we move to Robben Island itself, and I was very fortunate on a recent trip to South Africa to be able to come to Robben Island, a kind of journey of pilgrimage for myself, to the place where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. And this is the prison itself and the guard tower, which Nelson Mandela would have seen as he entered the prison, and also probably every day when he was inside. No one is born hating another person because of the colour of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. It was a truly moving experience to be standing at the door of Nelson Mandela's cell and looking into where he spent many, many years in Robben Island, the very same place. And all those years he was there, he was inspired in his resistance by the poem Invictus by William Henley, which is often quoted. And this is a quote from the poem. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. This is the courtyard outside Mandela's cell, and this is the place the prisoners sat day after day, breaking rocks, as you can see in this insert picture, in the hot sunshine or the rains of winter, week after week, month after month. And Nelson Mandela himself would have been here, no doubt. It is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. And here's another picture of that watchtower from the inside this time, with the high walls and the razor wire that Nelson Mandela would have seen most days of his imprisonment. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. And here, amazingly, are the dog kennels that were used by the prison guards to control the prisoners. And these dogs had virtually as much space as each of the prisoners. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. And this is the quarry where Nelson Mandela and, of course, all the other prisoners worked. Day after day, again in the hot sunshine and the blinding light, which damaged his eyes incidentally. And here in the centre of the quarry is an iconic pile of stones, which was started by Nelson Mandela at a reunion of prisoners in 1995, when he stepped out and placed a stone in the centre of this pile. And since then it's been added to by many, many others, creating this small pile, commemorating all those who worked and suffered here. We must use time wisely and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. And here is the entrance door to the maximum security prison through which Nelson Mandela walked when he came in and through which he went when he left. As I walked out the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. And here are some visitors in a communal dormitory, which is now used as a place to sit and listen to one of the guides, who is one of the original prisoners of Robben Island, to tell you the story and their story and give you an insight into what life was like there. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So near and yet so far, as it says here, and here is the reverse view. This is Table Mountain from Robben Island. And indeed, surely Nelson Mandela from time to time would have seen this view and wondered whether he would ever be free. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountain top of our desires. And here finally is a picture of Nelson Mandela when he was in the prison, revisiting the prison. What an extraordinary man, what an extraordinary story, and what an extraordinary inspiration he surely is today. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it, and there'll be more Human Heritage series coming soon.